Hello everyone, welcome back to another new session in the workshop of paper writing or research paper writing. Here this is going to be one of the last sessions that we'll be dealing on all these meta information kind of things. And from tomorrow's sessions, we will be directly dealing into the actual research paper writing part. So that regard, it is important for us to know what basically a DOI is, or what is the so-called digital object identifier is. Okay, so probably what happens uh, with all of us is that whenever we appeared in some kind of university exam or some kind of exam, maybe during the award of our degree or something, we all have been given some unique roll number, right? And that roll number, the university roll number that has been given to us, has no longer been given to anyone else, because our degree is recognized by that unique roll number that was given to us. So the same concept applies for the DOI also. Okay, so DOI is nothing but the digital object identifier. So it is a unique identifier given to a particular document, and so it means that once a particular unique identifier or a unique kind of ID is given to a particular uh, paper, it cannot be given to, or a particular article or a research article, it cannot be given to any other article. Okay, it cannot be given to any other article. For example, think of it like your Aadhaar card. Means your Aadhaar card number is unique for you. Okay, it cannot be given to any other individual. Similarly, the DOI for a particular uh, uh, article or a particular manuscript is given for one particular uh, article, and it cannot be given to any other article. Okay? So it is fixed in that sense. So what is the benefit of DOI is that before having the DOIs, it was very difficult for people to keep track of all the articles uh, that are published. For example, if suppose say tomorrow a publisher is publishing a particular journal, and tomorrow because of some reason, if the website is changed, so the authors may not be, or the authors or the readers may not be aware of that, and they may keep on searching on the internet or in different places to find out where the actual paper is. But with DOI, that problem is no longer there, because as long as you have the DOI and you search using the DOI string, you can find any paper, the related paper, means the associated paper with that particular DOI, without bothering about if there is any change in the database, or if there is change in the change of the website or all that. Okay, so that is why the DOI at all times, it maintains a persistent link of uh, digital presence of that particular paper. Okay, so even if the paper is moved from one location to another, if you have the DOI or the digital object identifier, you can directly find out that particular paper. Okay, so what is the DOI and where it is, where you can see it? For example, let me go to one of my papers. Let me show you what how a DOI looks like, if you are not already aware of how a DOI looks like. Let me go to one of my papers. Uh, Suppose say I've not updated my website for a couple of days. Okay. Suppose say I want to look at this particular uh, paper. Okay, so this is a recent paper that I have published with, suppose say, the Taylor and Francis. So here you can see this is the DOI that is mentioned. So this information that you see here is the DOI 10.1080 and so on, whatever the number that is given there, that is the unique identifier, or in the layman's term, you can think of it as the Aadhaar card number for this particular article. Okay, so as long as you have this particular number or this DOI number, you will be able to keep track of this particular paper. Okay, and this is very unique. This number is very unique to this particular paper. Okay, and that is what is the DOI. Okay, DOI are generally made up of two parts, as you saw. One part is called the prefix, the other part is called the suffix. Prefix describes basically in this, if you have seen in the example that I showed, excuse me, in the example that I showed, so this is the prefix part and this is the suffix part. So the prefix part is constant for a particular journal, and the suffix part may change with regards to the article. Okay, so but just by looking at the prefix part, you can come to know that which particular journal it was published in. Now, DOI is given by an organization called the Crossref. You may go and look at the functions of the Crossref. By the way, all the journals of the REST publishers are provided with DOI. Now, we have also something called the Google Scholar ID. Google Scholar ID is an ID for the authors, just like your Aadhaar card number. Google Scholar ID is a unique identification for a researcher, and this Google Scholar ID is again unique to a particular researcher. For example, the ID that I have is this, okay, UBZ, whatever it is written here, from U to HL. This is the Google Scholar ID for me. So if you go and search using this Google Scholar ID, you will be able to locate my profile. Okay? So this Google Scholar ID also provides a unique kind of information to locate a particular researcher. Okay, as long as I have this unique kind of Google Scholar ID, I can locate the researcher. Okay, now if you already do not have a Google Scholar ID, you can make it very easily. Let me show you in this particular example. So for that, you need to log into you need to go into the Google Scholar, and you need to log in using your Gmail. Okay, so I have already logged in here using the REST Publishers Gmail. So I have the REST Publishers Gmail here, and with that I have already logged in. My account is there, so I'm just showing it by some other account, the REST Publisher account. So I've already logged in here, and once you logged in, you can go and click on the My Profile. So as soon as you click on My Profile, you need to give some more information, like what is the name of your profile. The name of, suppose say this profile is REST Publisher. Suppose say the affiliation is, in this case, you should give the affiliation of the institute that are working with, and so on, and you should give the rest of the information, and then you can go and click on next. Okay, I'm just showing it for demo purpose. And now by the name, suppose say if I would have started this article by the name Kanak Kalita, all the papers that are published that have some kind of similarity with the name would have been shown here. But since I have, okay, let me just go and let me just go back to the profile. Let me just go back to the profile page, and let me see if I can again rename this. If I can somehow rename this. Yes, I can rename this. So let me give it a name like arbitrary. Let me just give it a name like Ram. This is my name, or this is the name of the researcher who is trying to make a Google Scholar profile. So this is the name of the researcher. Ramshyam is the name of the researcher. So you can see that as soon as I listed the name as the Ramshyam, all the probable papers that could have been published by these authors are listed here. Suppose say this is suppose say I don't know who this guy is, but again, suppose say this is my profile. Okay, I can just click on here, and there are 10 articles that are already there associated with this particular name. I can just click this forward, and then I can apply. I can choose whether I want to automatically apply and all that, and if I want to make my profile public, once I do that, I can click on done. Okay, and then it will be published. Now, so now you can see that I have set up a profile, a random profile by the name Ramshyam, and suppose say these are my papers. Now these are my citations. Everything is listed here. So it is that easy. So you can form your Google Scholar just like that by using this kind of a technique. Again, since this is an arbitrary profile, I just am going to go, and I'm just going to go here, and I can go and delete this account. Okay, I'll just go and delete this account. Okay, so yeah, so if it is your own account, you need not delete it, since this is an arbitrary kind of example that I was trying to show. So I deleted the account. Okay. So it seems I have deleted the account. Great. Yeah, so I've done this. Now let us continue with the this. So I hope that you can now easily, if you do not already have your Google Scholar ID, immediately go and form your Google Scholar ID, and it is very easy, like the process that I showed you. And I will show you again. If there is any difficulty, you can ask me. If there is any specific difficulty you are facing while making your Google Scholar ID, you can ask me and I will be able to help you in the question answer session. Now again, we have something called the Scopus ID. Again, Scopus ID is also a unique ID like the Google Scholar ID, but it is maintained on the Scopus database. And the important thing about the Scopus ID and the Google Scholar ID is that Google Scholar ID, you have to, first time you have to establish it by yourself, or you have to frame the Google Scholar ID by yourself. But in the Scopus ID, if you have at least one Scopus publication in the Scopus database, your Scopus ID is automatically created. You just need to find it. Okay, you just need to find it, which is your Scopus ID. For example, let me show you that how to find your Scopus ID. But for the Scopus ID to exist, you must have at least one Scopus paper which is listed in the Scopus database. So I'm just going to go and show you how to find out your Scopus ID. Let me just close this. I do not need this. I do not need this. So I'm just going to go to Scopus. Okay, this is the Scopus. I'm on this home channel. Let me just log out. So it will work better if I log out. So let me just sign out of this. Okay. Suppose say you are trying to now. Just give me a couple of minutes. Yeah. So I'm already logged out. So now this is what the Scopus website should look to you when you log into the when you open the Scopus website. So if you are not aware about what is your Scopus ID, as I am telling repeatedly, that Scopus ID is not created by you. Scopus ID is automatically created by the Scopus database, provided that you have published at least one Scopus paper and that is available in the Scopus database. If that is available in the Scopus database, it means you have a Scopus ID. Now, how to find out your Scopus ID? So now, suppose say you go to the author search. You go to the author search. Suppose say I am interested in finding out the Scopus ID of, suppose say I don't know who Ramsham is. I'm just making out an arbitrary name. I'm hoping that there would be someone by that name. So you type in the first name first, it's Sham, and then you type in the first name, it's Ram, and then if you know the affiliation, that which university or where he is associated with, you can click on here. If you are not aware, you may leave it like this and you can search. Conversely, if you know your ORCID ID, you can type in your ORCID ID and find it by using your ORCID ID. So I was doing a very random kind of search. So you can see that no one by that name exists. So okay, let me show you our coordinator's profile. I can just go on and type as you can see, this is Professor Ramachandran's profile. I can just go in and click on here. If I just go and click on the Professor Ramachandran's profile, here you can find that he has already linked his ORCID ID to this particular account. So his ORCID ID is also visible here. And here, if you can see here on the URL, this is his Scopus ID. Okay, this is his Scopus author ID. 5696272110. This is a unique ID, and by this now you can this is a unique ID for which by which you can link a particular author to a particular ID. So if you look at this particular profile in terms of using the Scopus database, you will find a lot of information here. For example, you find that 84 documents have been published by, or 84 articles have been published by Professor Ramachandran in the Scopus database. He has around 334 citations. He has a H index of 10, and this is his yearly output. All these things are listed here. Similarly, you can see all the papers that have been published by Professor Ramachandran. So yeah, so since we do not have the full access to this database, it will show you only 10 papers. Okay, but if you have full access, you can see all the papers that are listed in front of this author's name. So I think now you can also set up your Scopus ID. You can directly find out your Scopus ID like this. So the next is ORCID ID. Again, ORCID stands for Open Researcher and Contributor ID. It is again a very unique ID, and it was initially, this project was started in 2012, and this is by far the most widely accepted or widely used researcher ID, means research identification ID or researcher identification ID. So the ORCID ID is a open source platform and free to use platform. So I will just click on this ORCID ID, and you can see that it will bring you to my profile in the ORCID. So this is my profile in the ORCID. So you need to set up the profile by yourself. Initially, you need to set up your profile by yourself. So for example, once you log into the ORCID, or once you go to the ORCID ID, ORCID website, the website for ORCID is www.orchid.org. The first thing you need to do is that you need to register here. If you do not already have an ORCID ID, you can just click on the sign in or register, and then you can give register. You can go to register now, and like registering in any other website, you can register here. And once you register here, you will get some unique ID like this. This is my ID, and you set up your password, and by using that, you can now sign in. Again, if you have any difficulty in facing having all this kind of establishing all this, or making all these IDs, you can again ask in the question answer session, and we will be happy to help you. So like this, you form your ORCID ID, and you can see that I've already formed it. So it is showing here like this. So all this data has to be entered by you. For example, here my name is showing, here my employment history is showing, here my educations are showing, and here are and this information are directly taken from the Scopus. So these are the papers that I published. So it is showing here that I have around 68 articles. So if I want, I can see up to 100 articles here. So I have around 68 articles which are here. So you can see the articles that I have published, and here also you can see the amount of peer review that I have done. So you can see that I have again done somewhere around 68 peer review. So all this peer review information, and as well as the publication information, is available here in the ORCID ID. Let me just close it. So I hope that you can also maintain and your ORCID ID today. I hope that if you already do not know your ORCID ID, you will go and make a ORCID ID, and you will use it in all the upcoming researches that you are going to publish. Always when you are going to publish a particular paper, please mention your ORCID ID, and try that your ORCID ID is published along with the research, so that your paper can be easily tracked. Okay, so that all the citations are directly linked to your profile. Next, there is something called the researcher ID. Researcher ID, like the Scopus ID, cannot be created by yourself, but it is directly given by the organization. For example, the Scopus ID is for the authors who have published at least one paper in Scopus. Similarly, researcher ID is a author ID by researchers who have published at least one paper in the Web of Science database. Okay. Anyone who has published at least one paper in the Web of Science database will be awarded a researcher ID. So until very recently, there was a very dedicated website for assessing the researcher ID, but now the researcher ID has been merged with a website called Publons. We'll learn about what Publons is also. Again, this Publons is a subsidiary business of the Clarivate Analytics, which manages the Web of Science. So this is my Publons website. So as you can see, this is my Publons website. So once you set up your Publons website, from this Publon website, what you can do is that you can find out your researcher ID. So you can see that automatically my researcher ID is linked here. My researcher ID is this. So this is the researcher ID that you can find. Now, let me just log out of this. This is the Publons network. Let me just log out of the Publons network. And this brings us to the next topic and the last. Okay, let me exclude ResearchGate for now. Let me go on to Publons. So what is Publons? Publons is basically a commercial website, and now it is managed by the Clearbit Analytics. In 2017, it was bought by Clearbit Analytics, and Publons is a website which keeps tracks of all the peer review that you do. Okay, for example, if I have reviewed for any journal, that information will be available in the Publons, but I will have to share it. I will have to share that information with Publons, and Publons will keep track of the uh, keep track of my reviews also, the reviews that I've done for different kind of journals. Now, how to set up your Publons? Again, this is interesting. Again, I am saying you again and again that if you have not set up all these accounts, you need to set them up now so that uh, you can have the maximum outreach. Your articles can have the maximum outreach. You can build a good network. Okay, so all this will help you in this way, because it shows that you are you are an active researcher. You know all the different kinds of developments that are going on in the scientific community. Okay, and you are aware about, think of this, all these platforms like your social media, but these are social media for these are social media accounts for your, specifically for your research. Now, if you already do not have a Publons account, what you can do is that you can go to register, and here it is very simple. Once you go to the register, again, I need not teach you how to register. You can just fill in the details, set a password, and you can just log in. So I already have a ID, so I'm just going to log in with my Gmail. I'm just going to log in with my Gmail. Uh, just let me click here. I will be logged in. Okay. So once you log in, this is the website it will show you. And as you go on, you need to build your uh, build your profile by linking it to the ORCID, by linking it to the it to the Web of Science researcher ID. All these things you need to do. At the same time, you need to share the information regarding your peer review or your review details with this particular Publons network. And once you do that, all the information of your peer review network and everything will be available here. For example, if I go to my view profile, if I go to my view profile, so you can see that again, it is updating. It is still going on updating. So you can see that I have around 57 publications as per the Publons network. I have a citation of 142. I have the H index of 7, and I have conducted, so far I have conducted 4 times the number of the papers that I have published, of around 211 verified reviews. I have reviewed for a number of journals, and in total I have reviewed around 211 papers. And you can see here some information other than this is also available here. For example, there is an excellent course on peer review by Publons, so you can go and do that particular course. I am a mentor for that course, so here it is showing me as the Publons Academy mentor. But if you are new to the field of peer reviewing, you can go and do that course here. The course is absolutely free. Okay, you will get a Publons Academy graduate certificate, so you will get it here. And it is a guide based course where you will be allotted a guide, means a mentor like me, someone like me, a mentor will be allotted. And under the mentor you will learn about the different features of peer reviewing, and you can continue on your peer reviewing career. So here every year it gives some awards also. So you can see that I have recently won the uh, about 2 years back I won the uh, excellent reviewer as well as the top reviewer, top peer reviewer. And then here you have all the details regarding the peer review that you have conducted. Okay, here this is the information regarding the peer review. If you go and click on here, it shows all the information for all different journals that the peer review I have conducted. It shows you number wise the peer reviews that have been conducted by that particular researcher. So like this, you can set up your Publons network also. And last, you can also set up your ResearchGate. So ResearchGate is your typical Facebook, but it is a Facebook for researchers where you can connect with other researchers across the globe. You can connect with them, you can talk with them, you can request them to give you papers, or you can request them to collaborate. You can read different papers here. So ResearchGate is basically a free to use social media platform for uh, for researchers, you can go and create an account here, and you may find this also helpful. Though I'm not very active on the ResearchGate, I I look at ResearchGate once in a couple of days. I'm not that active in a ResearchGate, but I initially, during the initial phases of my career, I found ResearchGate to be very helpful because it helped me to connect with a lot of people, and thankfully I have been able to collaborate with them. I approached them directly and I talked with them, and they have been kind enough to collaborate with me. Um in this way also you can build your uh, research network as well as research collaboration. So I hope that all this information that we have shared here today are very useful for you, and I hope that by the end of this course you will have all these accounts. You will have created all these accounts for yourself. You will have a Publance account, you will have a ResearchGate, you will have the researcher ID and everything. You will note down everything because these are some information that you will need. For example, a lot of when you are now applying for a lot of government jobs, specifically in terms of teaching jobs, when you are applying for academic jobs, a lot of this information is asked. So it's good that you try to maintain all these accounts from now on, so that all information will be updated in all these accounts. Thank you for being such an attentive and patient listeners. Thank you, everyone.